Welcome back. In the last video, we talked about how we are moving into a new paradigm according to human design. So we are moving out of the cross of planning, which was 1615 to 2027, and we are moving into the age of the individual, the cross of the sleeping phoenix. I broke down what that looked like, what that meant in relation to you, into life, into business. And now we're going to move into the themes. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper from what we're moving away from, the cross of planning, over and done with, and what we're moving into, so you know what to expect and you can actually start intentionally creating your life around these changes that are coming whether you want them to or not. Like, that's the thing with this end of an era, is it doesn't matter if you want this or if you want your life to stay the same. This is fucking happening. And like we talked about in the last video, you see it happening. You see deconstructions of governments, school systems. People are choosing to homeschool their kids more. The influx of that is insane. I should look up the stats. And people are choosing to live differently. They are choosing to start businesses, to make money, to share their skills, and move out of that 9 to 5. That's why we see unemployment in like healthcare, resources, social work jobs, those service-based business, because you can take your service-based skills easily, bundle them up, and actually help people and meet them where they are at on an individual level. You don't need this collective overarching box to share your gifts within. So let's move into theme number 1, which is we are moving from tribal to individual, which is fucking terrifying because all we've ever known and all we have ever been taught is the tribal, right? Since caveman days, you don't go against the tribe. It is literally wired into our brains and our nervous systems to belong, which is why when you're a little kid and somebody's like, don't do that, it's bad, you're like, holy shit, I better not do that again. I'm bad and I will be rejected from the tribe. That is why you always wanted the approval, and why as adults, as we continue to get conditioned into this, we need to be whatever A, B, or C to fit in, why we fall for that instead of trusting our own inner authority. So we're moving into the individual. We're moving away from wanting to fit in, sense of belonging and being accepted, to being fully ourselves, even if it disrupts the tribe. And put your fucking hand up if you are that person that says the thing that everybody in the room is thinking, but everybody's too scared to say. It's hard to be that friend, isn't it? Because you're kind of like the stir of the pot. And I made a joke with my own girlfriend camping a few weeks ago. She was describing a friend as like super chill. And I was like, a word that nobody has ever described me as is fucking chill. Oh, and yeah, she's our friend. She's super chill. I am not fucking chill at all. I am, let's have a deep conversation. Like, ooh, you talked about something surface level to do with politics. Let's go deeper. Let's unpack what this feels like for you, how you've experienced this in your life. And I am the opposite of chill. So raise your hand if that is you. And I know I'm not alone. And I have so many people come up to me and say, thank you for sharing what I'm thinking, that I was just frankly too scared to share. So what people are experiencing right now in this tribal theme is this fear of being judged or misunderstood. And we over-identify with our roles. So I'm a mom, so I must show up a certain way or look a certain way because I am a mom. I am an employee, so I have to put on my employee hat and represent myself in that way. I am a partner, so this is how I show up and look like that perfect little whatever housewife, or this is what my house should look like. So we show up in a way that aligns with other people's experiences or ideas of what that should look like. And we hold back our own truth to maintain harmony of the collective. So a lot of people just don't speak what they're actually saying because they don't want to disrupt or go too deep. And like we talked about before with gate 59, the gate of sexuality and intimacy, we're actually moving away from those surface level conversations and into the deeper connections that do disrupt the harmony so that we can attract who aligns and reject those that do not. I talked about this before, where our brain is wired for social survival, and so rejection is seen as a threat. That's essentially leaving our nervous systems. That's the work that we need to do, is to feel accepted and belonging to ourselves. That's like the key to all of this. Your work here is to start to tolerate disapproval, to separate your identity, who you truly are, from the need to belong, and to build internal safety. That's what this theme calls on us to do. We need to start validating ourselves. Like, I used to take this whiteboard. It says, right now it says, believe in something you can't yet see. But I used to take this whiteboard and I would sit down and I would write all the things that I loved about myself. And it was the hardest fucking thing I have ever done. But that is what's being called on us, is connecting with ourselves, being the first one to fill your own cup up instead of relying on the praise from your boss, the comment from your partner, the phone call from your mom, the validation from whatever title you've been given at work, the income earned with your business. It's actually giving yourself the gratitude and appreciation without relying on those outside sources, because those sources are going to be gone at some point in this next era, which ends in 2447. It'll be gone. We're going to live in a completely different world. We are obviously not going to be alive for that, but it's going to be pretty fucking cool. We get to be the leaders. We're in it. Oh my God. Oh my God. I just thought of this. We are like the creators of this. We get to lead the way into this new paradigm. That's exciting. That's an opportunity for us to really set the example. Oh my God. Okay, moving on to the next theme is we're moving away from security into sovereignty. Okay, so less reliance on the system for safety and more responsibility for your own fucking life. I am all about being personally responsible for your own fucking life. We do that inside Her Way Society, my identity business building community. 90 days. Part of the identity work, I think it's day 17, is personal responsibility. Your life is a direct outcome of the choices you have made. And I know a lot of people fucking hate hearing that because things have happened to us that are out of our control. But what you choose to do next is always in your control. And so that's actually what's being called on us in this new era. It pulls us out of victimhood and into leadership. And it pulls us away from like the anxiety of like, what do I do? You already know. It's already inside of you. And of course, this is challenging for our brain because our brain loves predictability and familiarity. So anytime you start going against the grain, anytime you're trying new things, anytime you are being sovereign, which feels unsafe, your brain's going to fire the alarm systems because that is how your brain has been taught and wired to exist, but we are being called on to shift that. So that's why nervous system work is really important, whether it's just breath work or orienting, which is just simply like looking and feeling and sensing your environment, or just taking a moment to journal. All of these things, mindfulness practices, are going to be necessary for you to succeed in this new era. So the work that you need to do with this is expand your capacity to be uncomfortable, which is through that mindfulness. Rewire yourself to believe that safety is when you are with yourself, not reliant on other people. Not, I feel safe when I have $10,000 in my bank account. I feel safe when my husband's being nice to me. I feel safe when my mom's calling me every week. No, I feel safe when I am honoring my own needs. That's it. It gets to be that simple. And then teach yourself that you can make decisions without guarantees. And I always use one sentence for this. What would I do if I trusted that everything I wanted was on the other side of this decision? What would I do if I trusted that if I invested in my business right now, I was going to be guaranteed $20,000 months? Well, obviously I'm going to make that decision. So operate from that place, right? That future self. The third theme is obedience to self-trust. Okay. So we're no longer outsourcing that give me the gold star, give me permission, I don't know if I'm allowed to, fucking bullshit. This good girl conditioning, there's no room for it. There's no room for it in this new era. So no more second guessing, no more looking for advice before executing. You learn from your actions and from your mistakes, not from what other people tell you is going to work or isn't, and especially from people who have never lived what you were trying to experience. And no more being fearful of making the wrong move. There is no such thing as the wrong move. There is only learning. And so these ones are hard to break because these are conditioned authority loops. Like these come from your parents, they come from school, they come from your boss. Like our whole lives, we've been conditioned to not trust ourselves and that somebody else needs to tell us what to do. So the work to do here is be aware of those thoughts and interrupt those loops that run in your brain and make faster decisions so that you can learn faster, so that you fall faster. And then keep reinforcing within yourself that I can trust myself. I can trust myself to make this decision, and it doesn't matter what the outcome is going to be on the other side. The fourth theme in this is we are moving from long-term planning to being presently aligned. Because if you are aligned in the present moment as your future self, that creates your long-term reality. We're not working towards or chasing this long-term reality, okay? We're living it. We're embodying it now in the present moment. So I'm not thinking to myself, when I start my business, in 5 years, I will have enough money to retire my husband and I will make so much impact. I am showing up as a person who's already doing that, even though my external reality isn't reflecting that yet. I have not retired my husband yet. I will. I know that because I'm showing up as that bitch already. This means the 5 to 10 year plans are completely irrelevant. Alignment comes now, and it comes as showing up as the person that you want to be in 10 years. Not what you want. It's not, you don't get what you want in life, you get who you are. So be the person you want to be in 10 years that has the life you want. And this one's hard for your brain because your brain is a prediction machine, especially with AI, right? AI likes to predict things too. So your brain has what's called the reticular activating system. It only filters in opportunities that align with your current reality. So you have to challenge that all the time. You have to get off autopilot and start looking for opportunities, intentionally choosing to live in alignment with the life that you want. And that requires scary decisions. For me, right now, it's like reflecting on homeschooling my kids, which I've always said I don't want to do. Like, I want to homeschool my kids, but I don't actually want to homeschool them. Like, I don't want to be their teacher. But I'm like, there's no way I'm sending my kids to the public school system. So I'm like, how am I going to make this work? I'm going to show up as that person now. I'm not coming up with a 5 to 10 year plan. Like, maybe I'll educate myself first. I'm becoming aligned with that now. And I'm looking for opportunities for how I can make this work for my family. So your work is to anchor yourself in the present moment and embody the person who has everything you desire. It is to reduce this future-based anxiety, this worrying about things that you actually can control a lot of the time by making different decisions. And it's understanding that you will only get clarity after you take action. You're not going to think your way into clarity. You get clarity after you take action and learn what works for you and what doesn't. I know that this is a lot of information. If you need to pause this video, take a little water break, something. The fifth theme here is moving from institutions to networks. Ooh, I like this one. This means the top-down authority is completely weakened, and what we're moving into is a value-based connection. So this is, I'll trade you my eggs for your fresh baked sourdough. I will trade you my services in business for your services in human design work. This is coming through because there's a huge distrust in systems, in government. I mean, if you are watching this in 2026, there isn't a single person in the world that's like, oh yeah, I totally trust the government. 100%, I would give them all of my money. I would let them into my life with all the cameras they want. They can look at my bank statements, my phones, everything they want, which is pretty much what they're fucking doing anyways. No, there isn't a single person that believes that, because what we have seen is the government and the bigger systems do not have what is in our best interest. They are a system put in place to make a flock of sheep, and we are waking up to the fact that we are not supposed to be sheep. We're supposed to be human beings who have souls, who have missions, and who have purpose in our fucking lives. And you don't need to be confused about where you belong in these systems anymore, because you belong to yourself. You are worthy. You are enough. Your experiences, your gifts, they shape how you can help other people. You are enough. I don't know how many times I have to say this to people, but you were born enough. So your mission here is to stop having blind trust and to have discernment, to wake up and question things a little bit more and do check-ins of, does this align with my values and with my beliefs, or am I just settling into this option because it seems like the best choice? Perfect example of this is daycare. How many moms find out they're pregnant and then they call up and they're like, oh my God, I got to get myself on all the daycare wait lists so that I can put my kid in daycare. They don't even stop to think, do I want to send my kids to daycare? They just think I have to because that's what we do. That's the only option. And what women are waking up to is like, this isn't a good option anymore. There are so many studies, there's so much evidence, there's so much research that says children under the age of 3 need to be with their mothers or their fathers or whoever that primary caregiver is, and that the harmful effects on their brain that creates the survival state brain that increases the cortisol levels and literally changes the neural pathways in these young children. So our brains, 80% of them develop before the age of 3. Those 3 years are so fucking important. And so this means that we have to have discernment in the choices we are making. We have to think consciously, does this line up with the future I want, or am I just doing what I think I'm supposed to do because everybody else is doing the same thing? The other piece of work is creating self-led communities. If there is something that is missing in your life, if you're like, oh, I wish I had women to dance with, call on Facebook, on social media, in the community, fucking hold up a sign on the corner of the street and be like, hey, does any other women want to dance? I think I'm going to meet on Wednesdays. Why don't you guys show up? We'll do a little dancing together. Create the spaces that you desire. This is why I love my business, is I created a business that I wish I had in the beginning days of my business. And so I'm like, I get to live both worlds. I get to make little past Angie, like feed that little inner child of me too when I was younger. And then I get to fuel for other women and show them what they're capable of. Theme number 6 is moving away from roles into identity. So moving away from I'm a mother, I'm a social worker, I'm a nurse, I'm a doctor, into I'm a passionate, caring human. I am loving. I am kind. I am excited about A, B, and C. Like whatever you truly are to your core. I am deeply connected to my mission. I am meant to help others with astrology or gardening or herbalism or living off the land. Like I am meant to do this, not I have a degree, I got this credential. Like nobody fucking gives a shit about any of that anymore, especially in this era of social media. How many people on YouTube make millions and millions and millions of dollars? Do you know any of their credentials? The people that you binge watch, do you know if they have a degree or not? Or even if they're educated? Maybe they didn't even graduate high school. This is a trap that I always fall into. I always want to like pull up my little degree and be like, I have a degree. I promise I can talk about brain science. It doesn't matter. I have experiences and I understand how the brain works. Whether I have a degree in that or not, it doesn't actually fucking matter. What matters is the value that you get from it and the value that you offer people. So this one's tough for your brain because your brain locks in identity based on repetition and familiarity. So you got to break the loop. And the best way to break the loop, I'll give you a little practice, is every time you show up as your future self, the woman that you want to be, the woman that has the life that you want, you got to celebrate that. So like for my students, when they're starting their business and they show up on social media, it's a big freaking deal. Your first post is like, yes, I can't believe I'm that bitch now. Your brain doesn't know the difference between finding $1 on the street or winning $1 million. It only knows what your body tells it. So when you celebrate, you lock it into your brain. I am that person. That felt good. I want to keep doing more of that. So rebuild your identity intentionally. Get clear on who you want to be, the impact that you're meant to have. What is your purpose? What is your mission? Get clear on all of those things and detach your worth from the output. You were still worthy when you were sitting on the couch watching Netflix. You were still worthy when you're having a bath. You were still worthy when you're taking a dog walk and you didn't want to bring the kids with you. You are still fucking worthy. Okay, buckle up. There's only 2 more left. 7 is moving from sacrifice to desire. We're taught we have to sacrifice, and then we'll get whatever we want. Sacrifice your kids, your family, your life, and then you'll get those 2 weeks of vacation a year. It's moving away from what should I do and into what do I want to do. And a lot of people get guilt around this. They gaslight themselves into gratitude because they're like, well, I'm better off than other people. You know, I remember this in my social work job. Like, what am I doing complaining about my job and being burnt out and wanting to start a business? Because like, I make more money than most people. And like, I have a family and a loving husband. And like, I should just be grateful for what I have. 2 things can be true at the same time. You can be grateful for what you have and still want more. It's not black and white. It doesn't mean you only have to have it one way. So I was very grateful for my life and I still knew that I was meant to do more. Okay? You have to hold space for both of those. We have to stop suppressing our desires to be good. I want to be filthy fucking rich. I don't care if saying that makes you think that I'm greedy or selfish, because I know intentions are everything, and what I want to do with that money will have impact on my family, on the community, on the world at large. I want to create massive change in this world. And so you have to learn to own it and be yourself and be that bad bitch and stop with this good girl permission seeking, because we're called to be ourselves at our core. So normalize your desires and rewire your guilt loops. I have an entire training on this in my membership too. It's called the guilt loop. So there's 4 stages to a guilt loop. It's guilt, suppression, burnout, numbness, and it's a cycle. Okay, you got to interrupt at one of those stages. If you want to have access to that resource, just let me know. I'm happy to just send that over to you for free. Okay, the last theme is moving from external validation to inner authority. Oh, this was so validating when I learned about the new paradigm, because I started talking about inner authority like 3 years ago. And I'm like, we have to tap into our inner authority. We have to listen to our inner authority. That little sense of knowing what to do without actually cognitively knowing what to do. You're like on a walk and you're like, well, this is the way that the path says to go, but what's this path over here? Maybe I should take this one. It takes you to this magical waterfall that you didn't even know existed. It's little things like that, little moments of just like trusting your inner authority, trusting your gut, trusting your sacral, trusting whatever you are meant to trust in human design. This really calls on you to not need approval, to not need validation, but to become your own source of validation. This calls on you to celebrate yourself, trust yourself, and like give yourself a pat on the back. Be like, yeah, I'm fucking awesome. It calls on you to look in the mirror and be like, you know what? You're incredible. You're beautiful. I love you. You're kind. Keep being you. In business, this shows up really hard for women because they're constantly checking, like, did people like that? Oh no, I got a mean comment. What does that mean about me? It's like taking away the meaning that our brain wants to make of other people's opinions of us and just owning our truth. Did I show up on social media to be mean? Did I show up to hurt somebody's feelings? Or was I just showing up for my truth and somebody perceived it that way? There's a big fucking difference. I am never going to show up and intentionally want to hurt other people, ever. That's just not in me. And so when I show up, I'm going to always just speak my truth. And I know that my truth makes people feel things about themselves that are very uncomfortable, because it is a truth that a part of them deeply feels, but they have ignored because they don't tap into their inner authority. You have to reinforce that self-approval as your baseline, not the people around you. Your work here is breaking the validation addiction. Stop waiting for people to notice the hard work you're doing. Stop expecting people to validate you and tell you you're doing a good job. Start giving that to yourself. Those are the 8 themes. Oh my God, we got them all in one video. Tribal to individual, security to sovereignty, obedience to self-trust, long-term planning to present alignment, institutions to networks, roles to identity, sacrifice to desire, external validation to inner authority. Okay, there's just a deeper layer under all of this that I think a lot of people are gonna miss, is that this shift is not automatically positive. This is a destabilizing of structures and systems that we have grown up with. We don't know any other way of living. We have never lived in a different time. So it will be less supportive. And it will be isolating if you are not self-led. The old system, like we talked about before, held people together in this kind of shared suffering. The new system calls on us to really step into our own, own that, and then build a collective from that place. Like I said in the last video, it's really a shift of no one's coming to save you, but nobody's coming to stop you either. So I'm hoping understanding this will help set you up to be one of the people that thrives. I hope you can share this education with other people to help them thrive as well, because the less people that are surviving and being destabilized by this shift, the better. I don't want to see people suffering. I want literally everybody to be self-led and to move into this era. And I know that's not possible. I know that I can't do that for everybody, but the more that this reaches, if you can share this with anybody that just needs to know that these changes are happening, or if you see them happening in your day-to-day and just offering them a little bit of like, hey, it's meant to be this way. I know it feels scary right now, but there's a part of you that needs to trust in yourself that it's going to be okay. That is what I would like to ask of you as a favor. If you like this video, maybe hit that thumbs up, subscribe, save, share, whatever. Do all the things, help the algorithm reach more people. But as always, I have an unwavering belief in your potential, and I wish you nothing but success.